So I'm asking you not to be casual anymore. Start designing the future for yourself, for your family, for your business, for your future. Okay, decide what you want. Don't live in the past, and don't carry the past around like a burden, but simply use your past as one of your mentors to help refine mistakes, make some changes that you can invest now in the future.
You could be anywhere doing a lot of different things, but you chose to be here.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrivetime show starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zillner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
Mr. Clyde started from the bottom, and now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
I'm Bob Healy, and I'm originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm in the charcoal grilling industry, and the name of my business is Grill Blazer. How will I apply what I've learned so far into my business? I'm actually a client of Thrive 15, and I learn so much from what I'm learning at this conference and from my regular weekly attendance that it's helping me establish the business and get it off the ground.
Gentlemen, let me introduce you to the grill gun. Oh! I would have greened that anyway. I need that! Yes!
This nozzle on the top, you slightly turn like almost nothing, so a little bit of the gas starts coming out, and then you press the trigger. You can either turn the nozzle on the top to have more power, and this one here is a full power trigger, basically madness. You push it down and yeah. It is a lot of fun. Check it out!
You're gonna super cool that? I will.
Oh! Yeah! Everything that you see is authentically Clay. It's a great deal of fun. Everybody enjoys it. They know when they walk in, they think they're coming into a carnival, and frankly they are. It's just great fun. There's not another conference like it. You just don't go to a carnival atmosphere and learn like you do here at a Thrive conference. It's great. The reason people should attend at least one of these conferences is because it's common sense. And everybody's fed an entire line about the way you should run a business, but until you actually experience running a business, which is candidly what you learn here, how to run a business, you don't know what you're doing.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
On today's show, we find ourselves at the intersection and entrepreneurship. Ooh. As we interview the founder of the grill gun product, Mr. Bob Healy. This engineer of over 30 years has invented a product that combines the look of a gun and that shoots fire so that you can light your charcoal grill products within just 60 seconds. Fire. But before we talk about Bob and his beautiful, glorious grill gun, fire, let's talk about the products that I've almost invented. Let's talk about the products that you've almost invented. Fire. Let's talk about the ideas we've all had that we have not acted upon. Jason, I couldn't sleep all last night. I had this awesome idea.
Oh, no.
Check it out. This idea is going to change the world. Are you familiar with babies?
I used to be one.
Okay, so babies spend all their time doing what?
Crying, eating, pooping?
Crawling.
Ah.
Sure, they crawl, right?
Yes.
So what if we converted their onesie? You know how they wear like one thing?
Oh, yeah.
The onesie where it's like the top and the bottom?
Yeah, it's like a baby sock.
What if we turned that into a mop? So it could be called the baby mop. So your baby's mopping the floor.
And they just clean as it goes. Oh.
Yes.
That's probably the worst idea I've ever heard in my life.
What? I thought deeply about that for several minutes. That idea was going to be my path to financial freedom and riches. Okay, fine. You want to rain on my parade? I have another idea. I thought about this last Tuesday. It's incredible. Men like to do what? They get kind of older. They have some success. They're looking to relax. They want to
get a prostate exam.
18 holes.
Well, that's out.
They want to go
golf.
Right. And guys often have to go to the bathroom, right? And when guys go to the bathroom, typically they do what? When they're going to the bathroom, they're looking for a magazine.
Right, they read.
They read now, but what if they invested the time they normally spent reading and spent that time perfecting their putting game? Jason, it's so easy. We could just take the floor around the toilet and turn that into a putting green. No one's thought of this.
Yeah, because it's a bad idea.
You could practice putting while pooping.
That is the worst.
It's the poop putt. The poop putt.
Yeah?
That's it.
Oh,
the
yeah?
poop putt.
Well, hey, this idea is special
I knew
because
it.
it is, in fact, the worst idea that anybody has ever had.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrivetime Show.
Now, 3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, 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 and yes. Thrive Nation, welcome back to another exciting edition of the Thrivetime Show on your radio and podcast download. And Dr. Z, today's show guest deserves some cowbell.
Oh, and he got 4 yeses, too. I know when you fire off a show with 4 yeses, you are fired up and ready to go.
Now, Z, I wanted to allow this listener to be introduced with a kind of a subtle hype intro.
Yes, okay.
So I brought my megaphone with me, and so we'll go ahead and tee it up here. Let me get this ready here. Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
All right, Thrive Nation, on today's show, we have the inventor of the grill gun, Mr. Bob Healy, an engineer with over 30 years of experience. He's the founder of this great new product. Bob, welcome onto the show. How are you?
Wow.
Oh, I'm just fine, Clay. Thank you. Thank you both, Dr. Z and Clay, for having me on today.
Well, tell the listeners out there who are not familiar with the grill gun. I think anybody out there, if you've ever wanted to be an inventor, it's a tough road to go. It's a tough road to go down. See, it's a tough road. And all the listeners right now, if you will go to grillblazer.com, that's grillblazer.com, you can see this product, so you can check it out while he's talking. You can look at it and marinate on it and see it. Talk to us about this grill gun, and when did you first get the idea to make the grill gun?
Oh, well, so the grill gun is a high-powered torch. It's designed to be able to conveniently light charcoal grill in just minutes rather than tens of minutes or half an hour at a time or something like that. It's really not even a tool or a type of tool that people have been or could be familiar with because it's entirely new, both in its purpose and in its appearance. What you do with the grill gun is you use it to light a charcoal grill, and it's designed to fit in your hand comfortably and use safely while you actually light the charcoal almost instantly, warm up your grill, sterilize the grates, start cooking over your charcoal or your smoker, your wood smoker, offset smoker in just minutes. The whole notion of lighting a charcoal grill pretty much instantly is not something that people have done. I know there are a lot of YouTube guys that are out there and people like me who sort of we really like the idea of starting a charcoal real fast and not having to use lighter fluid or wait around on a charcoal chimney or any of the other things that are done for it. And when you light a charcoal with a 400,000 BTU torch, you're basically setting that charcoal on fire and you're cooking off all the debris that's on the grills, and at the same time you're bringing the whole grill up to temperature. So you basically are doing it in just when I go grilling, I'm cooking in 2 or 3 minutes after I start the process.
And Bob,
it's a year-round activity.
And Bob, you're feeling like a man.
Yeah.
You feel like a man.
You're like Rambo of the grill.
I mean, come on now. You just feel like a man. It's a man gun.
Well, it's pretty amazing watching people, their reaction to it, because it does hit that Y chromosome pretty hard. You're feeling like a man. You're out there at 25 degrees. You like to grill. You can run back in the house where it's warm, but it doesn't matter. You can grill year round. It doesn't have to be an outdoor summertime activity, even though, that's how a lot of people like looking at it.
Now, my understanding is, okay, so we have a grill gun here. This thing can help our listeners light their charcoal grill in 60 seconds, and it's fun, Z. It's fun. It is fun.
Oh, it's fun.
But what does it look like, the grill gun? Does the grill gun, I've seen some pretty, I don't know the technical term for it, but I've seen some pretty weak versions of what Bob's is creating. I've seen people who've tried to create a grill torch.
Yeah,
but it's kind of like it's just
try again.
And it has the class. Some of these products have the class and quality of like the Chinese finger locks, the paper locks.
Oh, don't kid yourself. That's
so talk to me about this. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Does this feel like a man gun, or does it feel like a meh?
I think one person who interviewed or actually reviewed it said he felt like he had seen Prometheus for the first time. And it was so intense a feeling of looking at a torch that looks like a pistol, like a 45 or a Glock or something like that, a semi-automatic slide action pistol that has a long bell on it. It's about 22 inches long in order to get the barrel away from you so that you can use it without burning yourself. But it looks like a gun. It feels like a gun. It shoots fire. You hold on to it. It fits nicely in your hand. It's well balanced. And you use it to really just basically flood the grill with the heat that you need in order to bring it up to the temperature you want to cook in just, under a minute.
Now, Z, I want to get into the businessy kind of things. This is a business show.
It technically is a business show.
So it's business school without the BS.
Come on now.
So, Bob, you made the product. Z, that's step one. You got to have your product.
That helps.
So step one, you have the product. It's a product idea, step one. Step two, nobody, Z, I'm talking about almost nobody ever goes to step two. And that is make a prototype.
Oh,
check.
Prototype.
He's got he has the prototype. He got the idea.
Yep.
He's got the prototype.
Yes.
Step three, we got to try to sell something.
You got to sell it, baby.
Sell something. Sell
for more
something,
than you make
sell
it.
Something.
That's the key.
So I want to ask you this. Talk to us about if someone wants to buy this thing, can they buy it? What's been your road like of seeing if someone wants to buy it? Because I know you did a demo at the Thrivetime Show conference for our attendees.
Oh yeah.
And I think about 1/3 of the people in attendance, I could be wrong, but I think about 1/3 of the people in attendance said, I definitely want to buy one of these like right now. How can the listeners get a hold of this? How can they buy one? Tell us about selling something.
Okay, so the process of putting this out on the market is when you're trying to bootstrap something up from the bottom without having venture capital or something like that step in and say, here, you need this money, let's go for it. You actually have to determine whether or not people want what you have, what they're willing to pay for what you've got, and then how are you going to get it made? And so I had to figure out, first off, there's torches. You can get a torch today if you go down to a hardware store. You can buy one, and it's long, and it's got a long hose, and it goes to a 20-pound tank, and you can look like the dork like I have done for the last 10 years, standing back and flaming up my charcoal grill. And if you want to do that, knock yourself out. Go ahead and do it. And I like I said, I've been doing that for a long time, and I decided to make something that really did the job right. And so it's the same sort of technology in that you're putting high intense fire on a grill, but how do you make that into something that people want? And how do you get it in front of them? So if your listeners have gone to grillblazer.com, they're already taking a look at this. They can see what it looks like, but they can't hold it in their hand.
Why?
And what they can do, the reason they can't hold it in their hand is because it's on a computer screen, and they need to order one in order to get one. But in order to do that, that's the hardest part about launching this endeavor is where you're going to come up with the capital to make it happen. And I decided to go the crowdfunding route. And so what I'm asking people to do is to go to the website and entertain themselves, figure out if this is for them, and if it's not, move along. But if it is for them, then take it on good faith that what I'm doing in crowdfunding is I'm using that tool, that whole platform. There are a couple of them out there. I'm looking right now pretty hard at Kickstarter. But you use that platform to allow people to come out and say, I want one, I'll back you. And when you make them, you send them to me. And so the process is pretty straightforward. You basically are pre-selling them. You say, I'm going to make them. If I hit the minimum threshold that I need to have in order to be able to have the finances to make it work, then I can build them. And that's really my business. I've done this all my life. I've made things. It's the easy part is for me. It's my wheelhouse to create a product and figure out how to build it and how to make it a high quality product. But the new part, my new venture really is being out on the sales edge and on the financing edge. How are you going to fund it? How are you going to turn it into a business that everybody wants to get behind? So in order for them to get their hands on one right now, they really can't. I've got a dozen of them that I've made that are prototypes. I've sent them out. People have used them. They kind of rotate around in a pool of grill guns that can be used for the purpose of promotion. But it's a 4 to 6 month process to actually get them in your hands. And so if I were to, like for instance, today with this podcast, with your audience, if enough people actually went out there and said, I want to do this, I want one of those things. And they simply said, in my little get yours now page on the website, if they were to say, I want to support this, I want to do this, then before Christmas, even before Thanksgiving, they could be in production and in your hands. And that's the beauty of crowdfunding, and the direction that I'm taking it here is that I can launch it, I can have it in people's hands, and we can be going down the road.
Bob, for the listeners out there who maybe are pondering, they're going, is this guy delusional? Is this guy crazy? You are a man with an engineering background. How many years have you been an engineer?
Let's see. I'm going to give away my age here, but it's been almost 40 years.
So how many of these people do you need out there right now to say, I want to buy one before we can get this thing in the hands of America?
Well, the way crowdfunding works is you actually set your deadline, your minimum that you absolutely have to have. And I absolutely have to have 1,400 people. That's 1,400 say, I want to have one. And I'm a tenth of the way there after having just a few weeks of just doing advertising on Google and Facebook. And so the whole Kickstarter community is bigger than that. And so it seems like a real doable number. And if people were to actually just believe that it will happen, if they like it well enough and they say, yeah, I'll support you, then what will happen is when I see that I actually have people up over that number, then I'm going to just email everybody. And so you'd want to put in your email and your text number, and then I'll just do a broadcast to everybody, say the Kickstarter website's up, it's live, go fund it. And as soon as I see that actually has happened and it's funded, then I can actually start the manufacturing process going.
Bob, what made you come up with the grill gun? What were you thinking? Did you fall and hit your head
on the toilet seat?
Did you have a bad accident as a kid from a burn?
This
I mean, there's
ice
something.
cream, this yogurt is curdled.
That's crust.
I feel sick.
I mean,
Oh, look what I just drew with my vomit. It's the grill blazer.
How does that happen? Do you have a dream, and this mythical grill gun came to you in the dream and said, "Make me, make me"? What happened?
All of the above. It was.
I was outside talking to a horse. This is what he said to do.
I've been saying, I've been doing this for a long time and putting up with buying torches that a weed torch, a torch that puts out that kind of heat, 400,000 in BTU, is it's going to burn up fairly quickly. And so I've gone through several of them over the last decade, and I thought, nobody does this, and people come over and they watch me grill. I grill every single week, and or smoke something, and so lots of friends and stuff are used to coming over, and they hear the roar of the jet engine as I light the grill and start cooking things in just a minute or two, and they think it's really funny and really cool, but they don't see themselves with this giant long torch hosing down a grill. And so it was a year ago in December 2018, that I was out there grilling, and I thought, if I'm either going to put up with this nonsense for the rest of my life, or I'm going to do something about it. So I just said, I didn't know what a grill gun was. I hadn't ever seen one before. I thought, well, something is better than this, and what is it going to be? And so I went to some friends and my family. I got sons-in-law and sons that are opinionated, and I like their opinions. And so I basically started asking them questions and then formed a list of what it would need to have. And then I got busy modeling it. And it was so that was December. And it's probably in February, everybody said, "Oh, you're on to something here." And then by May, I had it, a year ago May, so not quite a year ago, I actually had prototypes in my hand. And I then started going down the other channels of, okay, how do I build this? How do I get this cost effective so that I can make it and people can buy it for a reasonable price? And utmost important was the quality of it. So I've designed this to where I'm going to be proud to use every single grill gun that I have for years, not for once or twice or for half a season before it burns up. So it was just a process of saying, I don't know what it is that's going to make my life better, but I know when I see it, I'm going to like it. And so, again, if you're on the website and or your listeners have listened to and gone to the website, they know what I'm talking about here. It's pretty appealing design, and it's really durable, really well designed.
So, Bob, you're basically a big pyro. That's really what it boils down to.
Oh, yeah.
You're a big pyro.
Well, I'm not as much a pyro as the people that want it. I've heard a lot of people say this is all kinds of stories about how I've been a pyro my whole life and that sort of thing. And not me, but I can appreciate that there are people that like fire a whole lot.
Now let's talk about this grill gun. Let's get into the rough questions now, the rough ones,
the tough ones.
All right.
Will this blow up? If I turn it on, boom. What are the chances? I turn it on. What are the chances I incinerate myself?
Pretty small. You'd have to be deliberate wanting to do that, because what you're working with is propane gas, and propane gas is explosive. So you could do things that I warn you not to do, like you could turn on the grill gun inside the house and just let it run like that for a while, and then say, okay, I think I got enough propane in here, and then light it. I wouldn't advise that.
That's not a best practice move.
That's not a top 3 thing to do.
Not on top.
No, so the real problem in trying to design and sell something like this, where you're handling that much heat, I'm dealing with the same sort of thing that every torch manufacturer out there has. You've got to build something that's safe, and then you have to warn people about how to use it, because the nuts and bolts of it is you have a propane source, a small 1-pound can, or you can tie it into a 20-pound bottle, and you've got to screw that onto the bottom of the grill gun, and now you've pressurized the grill gun, and that affords the opportunity for the gas to come out the bell. And so when the gas comes out the bell, you want to light it when it comes out so that you're not just expelling propane in the air, which is explosive. Because if you burn it while it's coming out the bell, you don't have any danger. And there's nothing about the gun itself or the design of itself where it's going to pocket enough propane to explode on its own. It couldn't do that. But what it could do is you could vent it into an environment that, where the gas is itself explosive. But this is not new. The grill gun itself is some really innovative new technology, but the notion of taking gas out of a gas container, propane gas out of a bottle and lighting it on fire is, tried and true for decades. So I'm not doing anything there that's in any way dangerous that would create a problem for anybody to operate one.
What have been, and I want to ask Bob, I'm now going to ask Bob the really
Are you
tough
going deep?
questions.
You're going deep.
What has been, as you're building the grill gun, which you can learn more about at the grillblazer.com. It's grillblazer.com. See, that's grillblazer.com. And for all the listeners out there who are going onto the website right now, they're looking at it, what's been the toughest part of trying to take your idea that you are, and I mean this in a nice way, you are passionate in a way about this product that doesn't make sense to most people. Most people like to grill.
Oh, yeah.
And most people want to light the grill in 60 seconds. But most people aren't willing to invest this kind of money and time into coming up with a solution. Bob, as you've been trying to provide the world's best grilling tool possible, what has been the most challenging part of doing this?
Really everything except for designing it and setting up the manufacturing. I mean, it's hard to actually pin that down to one thing, but getting getting in front of people who can help influence, or charcoal influencers, and getting them to pay attention and helping me promote this notion. It's basically you can have the best tool of anything, whatever you want, and if nobody knows about it, you're just sitting there holding them. I could make 5,000 grill guns and put them out in my garage, and then next year I still have 5,000 grill guns out there. So it really is trying to get an audience that wants to buy them. And so it wouldn't make any sense for me to just get excited, 1,400 people excited to buy one and then launch my Kickstarter campaign and then crickets, nobody wants any. So it's the whole aspect of marketing and sales. That's the hard part, because everything else is pretty straightforward.
Z, you've told me for years I'm one of the best tools that the world has not heard of yet.
I
know what you
have,
mean by
and
that.
I promise you, Bob, if you put 5,000 of those in your garage, you're going to end up with 4,999. Because I'm going to come over and see my point of them. So there you have it.
Z, what tough questions do you have for Bob about the process? Because there's so many listeners out there who want to be an inventor. They want to launch a product. He's done step one. He had the idea. Step two, though, he made the prototype. Step three, he's got to try to sell it. As he's in that pre-selling phase, and it's a weird deal because you got to sell enough to get the money needed to produce a lot. Z, what rude question do you have for Bob? What strong advice did you have for Bob? What do you got there?
How much money do you need right now?
I need $100,000, and if you want to write me a check, Z, I will drive into town.
What are you willing to give up for $100,000? I mean, like a kidney.
Obviously, I'm willing to give up whatever it would take in the form of a loan, and I would also be willing to give up negotiate on a piece of the equity in the company for whatever the investor thinks that it's worth.
Well, there's
so that's always a negotiation point.
Yeah, there's hundred thousands, tens of thousands of people that'll be listening to this podcast, i.e. radio show. And somewhere, someone's going to get on there and look at grillblazer.com, which I have been looking at now for the entirety of the podcast, and looking at it and remembering my experience with the Grill Blazer. It's a cool product.
It's cool.
And I'm sitting out there thinking, there's probably somebody out there that does this. They've got their money in a savings account, drawing nothing. Maybe they got a few thousands in the stock market.
And they're willing to put $100,000 on 10 different businesses, and hopefully one hits.
And they go to themselves. They go to their website. And they go, okay.
How much? What do I get for 100,000?
So how does somebody contact you? What's the best way to contact you? Somebody's listening out there going, you know what? I may want to. It depends on the equity piece you give up. Depends on a lot of things, but still that's negotiable. We don't want to go into that right now on the air. But how does somebody contact you and start that process?
Well, the most direct way that'll get to me is bob@grillblazer.com. And if you don't know anything about the internet and you don't have email and you do have a rotary dial phone, then you could dial 918-960-9690.
What's that number again?
918-960-9690. I think I might have said that wrong the first time.
No,
918-960-9690.
Yeah, it's on your website.
Now, Bob, as we wrap up today's show, what final question do you have for Dr. Zellner? Dr. Zellner is Z, you're a guy that people Shark Tank you all the time. They're always wanting to pick your brain for business tips. Z, is it okay if he asks you any question?
Absolutely.
Okay, Bob, what question do you have for Dr. Z as we wrap up today's show?
So, do you, Dr. Z, have an impression, just having seen the grill gun and you've seen people's reaction to it, do you think that this is something that is, that is a thing that is going to go?
Okay, first of all, I do have an impression. I do Forrest Gump fairly well. That's my boat, Jenny. I was just running. We were like peas and carrots. So I got a couple of impressions that I do. Number one, on sidebar, you probably don't want to hear all of them today, but
that was a good one though.
Thank you.
Can I do this?
Thank you, Clay.
As you're formulating your answer, I'm just going to cue up a little motivational quote that you once. This is a voicemail. I think it came from you to me.
Oh, I did.
And this was during that phase of our career and life where you called me Happy. That was my nickname, was Happy.
Oh.
I'm just going to cue it up.
Okay, good.
And I'll cue that up as you formulate your answer. That way, what your feedback you give Bob will not either be super euphorically awesome or soul crushing. We don't want that Simon Cowell moment to happen without a lot of premeditative thought. So here we go.
I got two thoughts on that.
You got to rise above it. You got to harness the good energy, block out the bad. Harness, energy, block, bad. Feel the flow, Happy. Feel it. It's circular. It's like a carousel. You pay the quarter, you get on the horse. It goes up and down and around. Circular, circle, with the music, the flow. All good things.
All good things.
All right.
Two things, Bob, to answer your serious question. That is, yes, I think it's pretty cool. And I do think there's a market for it. I don't know how many times people look at me and say, there's nothing to buy you. What do you buy the man who has everything? A grill gun.
Agreed.
Number two, I would do my best effort to approach Hasty Bake, to approach Oklahoma Joe's, to approach some barbecue places that, barbecue, i.e., is grilling by almost definition, right, anymore. I would maybe do a co-sponsorship. Maybe it's the...
But what if they steal my idea?
Well, then that's just what you have them sign an NDA before you approach them, and then you talk to them about co-marketing, co-branding this.
But what if they say no?
Then you go to the next one. You knock on another door.
But who do I call?
Ghostbusters. No, I'm sorry. You start off, you make a list, you make your top 100, you make a top 10, top 12, top 50, okay, of people that might be interested in co-managing this with you. Now you're going to have to give up some of the juice. You already said, hey, for $100,000, I'm going to give up some equity position anyway. So maybe you go to somebody who themselves are in the grilling business.
How much would you be willing to give up? You see, if you were in Bob's shoes, let's say, and you get a deal with Hasty Bake says, yeah, we love it. Let's do it. How much equity would you be prepared to give up on a product that would be stillborn, essentially, without funding? How much would you, Z, advise a young man to say, hey, I'm willing to give up? You should be prepared to give up to this much of your company for that funding.
Well, it depends on the amount, and it depends on what I feel like I've already put into it personally. I don't know how much money you've put into this already, but you have put some money in. You have put some time in. I would be able to document that, and I'd be able to get that a reasonable amount of money for that, okay? How much is the invention worth? Reasonable. How much
Reasonable.
time have you put in? Reasonable.
Yep.
And how much physical money have you put into it? These are all reasonable numbers that a businessman would want to see.
Shunda.
And so then if 100,000 is a third of that, then I would say they're giving up a third of the equity. I mean, money is money. Cash talks.
So you're saying if Bob put in 100,000 of his own money,
Yep.
and Hasty Bake says, "Hey, we're going to put 100,000," and you said you might be willing to give up 49%.
Correct. I mean, you at the most you want to
the
negotiate.
most.
You want to negotiate.
But I mean, at the
less.
most-
At the most, you've got to be ready for that because
you
it's
gotta be
kinda
ready
like,
for it.
Right. It's kind of like, well, okay, you got 100,000 in. If I'm putting 100,000 in, why are we not more equal? Why are you only going to give up 2% of the company? Don't be stupid like that. You watch Shark Tank and all. Those guys come on there with these ridiculous asks.
So, Bob, does that feedback help you, and do you have any final closing question?
Just drill into that question a little bit deeper. It really wasn't so much how much to give up as you see, Dr. Z, you see a lot of stuff. People try and Shark Tank you all the time. And I'm just curious if I were, not that I'm going to do this, but I just mean on the quality of the kind of product that comes across your desk. Is this the kind of thing that you see that has legs, or is this the kind of thing that you say, next, let's go do something else?
I think it has legs. I think it's kind of fun. It's kind of a fun novelty, but yet useful gift.
It's a gun.
And really, your final price point on it is going to be roughly what? What are you thinking?
Just for easy talking purposes, $100, but that includes shipping. So
see, I think 150. I think 150. I think a guy would pay 150 because this is a completely unnecessary item.
Well, that's the fun of it. I think though you keep it $99.99.
Really, $99.99.
Yeah.
What if it was like in the shape of an Uzi or an AR? I mean, for an AR
It
themed
looks pretty
one.
cool. It looks pretty cool. It looks like James Bond would go and take over.
But I mean,
a country
if they had
with
like an AR version, I mean, would you spend up to 150?
You might have different. You could have a rifle. You could have
Yeah,
a
rifle.
little 22 version, little bitty flame. If you're a cigar lighter, you want to light your cigar. The grill blazer, the grill gun could be. You could have different variations down the road. You could have the. I'm serious. I'm going to pump up the fire.
Or you could have a product that's always fun. You give the gift, and it's the grill blazer line of landmines.
Yeah, that's also fun too.
So it just randomly starts. You
just blow it up.
You say, I buried that in your yard, and at some point it will emit flames.
And for $100, I'll tell you where it is. If not, good luck.
I don't need you on my marketing team.
Oh, you do. You do, my friend. That's so good.
Great tagline. It can grill charcoal
All I
in
gotta
60
do is
seconds and squirrels in 30.
have landmines in the yard.
Take back control of your yard for $100.
Grill a squirrel or charcoal
Yeah.
in 60 seconds.
Yes, I do think it has legs, and like I said, it's a fun gift because it works. It's clean. It looks good. It's well built. I fired the trigger myself, and I think, like I said before, it kind of gets into that. Like those catalogs you flip through on the airplane that has all these gifts for dudes.
It should
that
be
are
on
like,
that.
Yeah,
Finger hook catalog. Get
I
myself a finger hook catalog. Get myself a recliner with a back scratcher.
Oh yeah.
And then get myself a
And
grill
give me a
blazer.
grill gun.
And get myself a whole collection of Chinese finger locks.
And then I'm set.
That's all I need. That's all I need.
For the man,
Just the
for the guy who
essentials.
has everything. Now you have your grill gun.
The grill gun.
Yeah.
You can grill a squirrel or charcoal in under 60 seconds.
Guaranteed.
Endorsed by Batman.
That's right.
Okay, Bob. I
And Chuck
appreciate
Norris.
you.
And Chuck Norris.
Bob, it's grillblazer.com. Our listeners out there, I know they're going to go check it out. Grillblazer.com. Check it out. Z, you could be one of the first 1,400 people in America to buy this beautiful item. You'd
The
be a
grill
real
gun endorsed by Chuck Norris. I think that's the tagline.
By the way, if Chuck did endorse this, wouldn't it be over for him? If you got a celebrity endorsement like from Chuck Norris?
That's one of the moves.
That's a move.
That's a move.
That'd be a great move.
Oh, Bob, I appreciate you so much. And Z and I are going to go pontificate about the NFL upcoming draft. We're going to be talking about all things NBA. We got a lot to cover here, Z. So thank you so much, Bob. Have a great day. Jason, have you sincerely ever had an idea to invent something?
Yeah, but they've always been bad. They don't really service a need.
Okay, so it's just more of something that you've had an idea, thought about it for maybe half a day, and then you move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you're out there and you sincerely have an idea or an invention that you want to refine and you want to get launched and turned into something that could make money, that could become a business, I would highly recommend that you start by thinking of problems that real people have and look for a better way to solve that problem or a way to solve the problem that people really have. That's why I think that the grill gun will do well, because men like to grill, and they sincerely want to use charcoal because it typically tastes better.
Right.
But now you can use the grill gun to light your charcoal grill in just 60 seconds.
Oh, and I've used it, and it saved me so much time. I don't have to taste lighter fluid. It's awesome.
And it's a lot of fun.
Oh, it's so much fun.
It's like a gun-shaped torch. It combines grilling. You got the fire, you got the gun, the whole. It's a fantastic gift. I encourage you to check out the website today. Again, in case you missed it earlier, it's called grillblazer.com. grillblazer.com. And if you're interested in learning how to become the best inventor you can possibly be, I would recommend that everybody goes out and purchases a copy of the book called Secrets from an Inventor's Notebook. Secrets from an Inventor's Notebook by Maurice Kanbar, the creator of Sky Vodka, and a guy that is the holder of an incredible number of patents. The modern needle protector, that's Maurice Kanbar's invention.
Oh, wow.
The Sky Vodka, that's his invention.
It's huge.
You have the modern traffic lights. A lot of people don't realize this, but the modern traffic lights, a lot of them are using Maurice Kanbar's patented invention that makes a strobe light that strobes so fast that the average person doesn't see it strobing, but it dramatically reduces the amount of electricity being used because it's not on the whole time. It's strobing.
Interesting.
This guy's got a ton of inventions, and he wrote how he did it, how to do it, how to invent things, the process. It's not a random thing he's doing here. It's a proven process he's done time and time again, and you can get that book today. It's called Secrets from an Inventor's Notebook by Maurice Kanbar, the creator of Sky Vodka. And it's an incredible book. Everybody out there should own it if you're looking to become an inventor. And we like to end each and every show with a boom. And so now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom!
Hello, my name is Daniel with Daniel's Heating and Air here in Amarillo, Texas. The way Google has affected my business, we have got a lot of calls from Google. Right now it's July, and we've had the best month ever.
The only other thing I have, it says, is a B18.
Hey.
That's it.
B18, baby. That's my favorite number.
B18999.
You can hear the office going. That phone, like,
99.
right before you calling us, we got like 5 people
Thank
on
you.
it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Okay. And then what is your domain?
Okay, how much?
Domain.
Route66HVAC.com.
Perfect. Do you have them in stock?
Route66AV.com.
HVAC.
Okay.
AC.
Can I
HVAC.com.
please?
Okay. You ready?
Go for
It'll be 24.
Nervous, but let's go.
Okay, here we go.
And it's SH.
3.
Sorry, SCHILL.
All right, Thrive Nation, on today's show, we're talking to an HVAC man, an HV. What does the HV and the AC stand for? Brandon, pop quiz. What's the HVAC stand for?
Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning.
Yes, this guy, I'm telling you, he knows his trade. He's actually in his office right now. So, folks, if you hear somebody on the phone, it's because they're always selling. They're always doing customer service. They are a real company. Carter, I am fired up to have him on today's show. Carter, this is your longtime client here, Route 66 HVAC.
Oh, yeah, and I'm equally fired up.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I got to ask you, we've been working with you guys for a while, and my understanding is you guys are getting more leads. Brandon, are the amount of leads increasing, sir?
Well, I can say before we started business with you guys, we didn't really have any because we just weren't using Google at all. And now we're getting so many Google leads, so many like word of mouth and cultural leads out of the community outreaches and stuff we're doing. And now we're having phones just going left and right, phone calls, and I need more phones, or we're just going to have to answer calls. You know, it's going crazy. If you see that board back there, that's what it looks like right now in the schedule.
So that's your schedule behind you?
Yes.
So
look at how full that is.
Carter, you had something you wanted to say there.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just going to say, you're going to have to get the whole 2 phone situation going on at once. Learn how to have 2 conversations at once.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, let me tell you something real quick about this. This is let me see here. This is a true story. I don't know if I can prove it though right now. I want to prove it. The Tulsa World, they came out to my office back in the day, and they did let me see, they did an article on me. See, local DJ spinning. Let me see if I can find it. And they did an article on me. And when they did the article, they took a photo of me. And in the article, I'm holding two phones. Because I'm literally, I'm taking a phone call and I'm on another one. And then the picture guy took a photo, and I wasn't prepared for that. So back to your business now. You guys, your phone is ringing more than ever. Is that an accurate statement, sir?
Yes, there's like never a time in the day where someone's not on the phone, and most of the time it's two people on the phone at the same time.
Now, Carter, in addition to that, you guys, so step one, I'm trying to go over some kind of our stack of wins here. You guys, we've increased the lead flow. That's wonderful. Next is that you guys went from a startup to where you're actually now on pace to, head to $1 million business. Tell us about the growth rate. Tell us about, because you really went from a startup to a success story.
From start point of where we got in contact with you guys, we actually did cross the $1 million mark from where we started with you guys. And I mean, we were also profitable, even though by like in the first year with all the mistakes that we made going into business at the beginning, because we didn't know, we're not business people, we're HVAC people, right? So, and we made a couple of mistakes along the road, and we're still able to be profitable in the first year.
Now,
Which
so
is a
again,
feat of itself.
this is great stuff. Now, Carter, you guys are also rolling out recurring maintenance packages. Tell us about this, because I think a lot of our clients we work with in the HVAC space, in the optometry space, in the legal space. I mean, clients we work with in all different industries, they're always trying to find a way to generate recurring revenue. Tell us about these recurring maintenance packages, Carter. What kind of the vision is here?
Yeah, so the recurring revenue is great because as a business owner, it gives you a little bit of security, but it always has to be a value add for your customers. Otherwise, what's the point? And so we have come up with, or they've kind of crafted it over time, where we have 2 different recurring maintenance packages and just lets the customer choose which one works best for them. And it's a lot of it helps the customers because it's a proactive way to afford some HVAC solutions.
And I think what happens is, Brandon, I think a lot of people think, I don't qualify to have success. They watch a video like this and they go, he's a genius. Brandon's a genius. He's the golden baby. I can't possibly do this. What do you say to somebody who's thinking about reaching out to work with myself, Carter, and the team? What would you say to somebody who's, thinking about coming to a conference or thinking about scheduling a 13-point assessment?
They should straight up do it. I mean, because the advertisement that got us there on your end was a Facebook ad. It said no BS. And we went to that first conference back in July, about a year ago. And that's exactly what it was. It wasn't, you didn't beat around the bush, didn't try to do the upsells or anything like that to try to and another thing, you can be this tier, or and another thing, we'll add this. No, there wasn't any of that. It was just straightforward. This is exactly what you need to do in order to make your business succeed. And it's really awesome that we were actually able to cross $1 million, because I think the average startup in HVAC space, like chucking the truck, whatever, by himself, is usually only like 100,000 for the first year, and we did approximately 10 times that.
Now, we charge a flat rate. We're a flat rate service. It's $1,700 per month. We have a weekly meeting with every client. So, Carter, you meet with these wonderful guys every week.
Yes, I do.
And in the meeting, the purpose of the meeting is to help you grow your business. But it's a flat rate service where we just charge it. How much does that help you, Brandon, as a business that went from a startup to where you guys are at, knowing that you're only going to pay a flat rate of $1,700 as opposed to some variable, ambiguous fee that may or may not be charged?
It's predictable. I know exactly what I'm getting charged every single month. And I can arrange my expenses to be able to cover all that. And it just makes it real easy on my end, trying to track it.
That is the move. Now, I'm pulling this up here again. Other things, search engine optimization. I think a lot of companies, a lot of people, they want to do online advertising, marketing, and Carter, they come to us and they have kind of a woo-woo idea of how it might work. Because there's all these marketing companies that pitch these theories on what might work. You might try this. You might look at this. This might make you go viral. This might get some leads. This might create a TikTok thing for you. This might create an Instagram reel that really goes viral. You might get some. This might work. This might move the needle. There's all that kind of. This might get your name out there. There's all those kind of marketing jargon. But we have a linear plan we're taking you down. Brandon, how much does it help for you to know that you have a linear plan and that Carter's going to help you track the results every week?
It just, like I've been saying, it makes it predictable. I know what's coming ahead because I've read ahead of where I need to be and where I can see in the future what's coming up. It also keeps me on the same page as we're going in the process of getting better, because like we're not perfect by any means, as a company. That's the whole point of training and the whole point of coaching, to where we can get to that point.
Now, the photography, videography, web development, search engine, graphic design, we do all of that included. Plus, we do consulting. So it's kind of like you hire a CMO, a chief marketing officer, and a CFO, a chief financial officer, to work with you simultaneously to help you. How much does that help, knowing that Carter and there's a team helping you guys and you don't have to go find separate vendors?
Quite a lot, because I don't know anything about website building or coding or anything. Like, I got to log into the background on the WordPress and stuff, but I don't go anywhere into that because I could mess it up really easily. I don't understand what's going on back there, but it's doing stuff and it's working. And knowing that I have like an IT team or web development team is great, because that means I don't have to go out and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a one-time purchase to go get a website that I don't understand the back office, the run, or any of the coding.
Now, video testimonials, one of the things when we help someone grow their company, I want to encourage everybody, if you're out there listening right now, there's 14 steps is how I look at it. And Carter, you start with establishing the goals, then you move on to branding, then you move on to marketing, then you move on to sales, then you move on to fulfillment, then you move on to hiring, firing, training, retaining. It's all of those systems. So when someone says, what's the most important aspect of growing a business? I would argue it's the execution of all 14 steps simultaneously. Talk about, Carter, the video reviews and why that's been important for Team Route 66 here.
Well, to their credit, they've really gotten out there and just asked everyone for video reviews, and they've gotten some really good ones. And what that does is it just builds value prior to, me going out to deliver an estimate. It's like you already have, 20, 30. I mean, you guys had added 10 last week. You have 20 or 30 people positively reviewing you on your Google listing, on your website. It's like that helps the sales process on the back end a lot. And so that's been really important. And to your guys' credit, you've been great at collecting those video reviews.
I'm going to pull this up here. We've got these 14 steps on how to grow a successful business. If you want to download my newest book, A Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich, you can download it, and you too can follow along here, folks. But here are the 14 steps. And I'm just going to go through these here. I'll try to zoom in so people can actually see it. 1, we establish the revenue goals. Box 2, we figure out the break-even goals. 3, we define the number of hours willing to work. 4, we determine the unique value proposition. 5, we nail down the branding. 6, we create a 3-legged marketing stool. 7, we focus on sales. And I told you about this picture. It does exist. Look, it's here.
It's great.
Tulsa World came
there
out
it is.
and said, hey, could we do a photo shoot with you? And I said, sure. What time are you guys going to show up? They said, I'll be here around this time or that time. And they show up, and I'm literally on the phone waiting. I'm on the phone with a bride booking her wedding, but then there's a DJ over here who just called in. And so I'm doing the 2 phone thing. And that became sort of a legendary cover of the business section there. In my opinion, once you get into the sales part of the path, that's where this starts to happen. And now you got to have kind of a sober mind to help you figure out, what is it costing to acquire a new customer? And are we being organized? Because you can't build an organization if you're not organized. Are you tackling that part of it, Brandon? Are you guys right there where you're starting to put the cross the T's, put the I, put the dot on the I? Are you starting to kind of bevel and refine the systems now, or where are you out of the process?
we've laid the groundwork, and we are in that position where we're flipping over into refining the system that's working for us. And every single little day we find one little, like that 1% of correction every single day to make our system more efficient. And it's just going, and
Now
it's
I'm
working.
taking notes here, so I'll let you go in just a second. I'm taking notes. My final thing I wanted to clarify. I'm quoting you. I wrote this down, Carter. I typed it up here. It says, "We're getting so many leads and word of mouth leads, We're having phones going left and right, and I need more phones." That's what I think you just said. So I got to ask you here. What do you say to somebody who's thinking about reaching out for a coach, for a consultant, somebody to help them in the way we've helped you? What do you say to somebody who's thinking about going to thrivetimeshow.com, scheduling a free 13-point assessment? They're thinking about coming to the conference. What do you say?
You're going to need to buy 3 phones after signing up with Clay Clark, and then you're going to have to figure out how to get your virtual phone so you can have a phone within a phone within a phone.
Okay, so I'm quoting you. I want to make sure this is right. It says here, you're going to need to buy, this guy's like a phone salesman. You're going to need to buy 3 phones.
I accept commissions.
Okay, but I mean, how would you describe the overall experience? Because you know how it is. People are thinking about working with us. How do you describe the overall impact it's made on your business?
Every single week, like as we're going through it, it helps me form habits, right? Because this is not something normal that anybody is just going to know day one. Like you're not born with these skills. So like the first thing you're going to learn is how to schedule your time and manage your time management, right? Block out everything and figure out how your week is going to go, do your to-do list. And once you get that done, you really start fine-tuning your marketing in the Google. And once you do that, then you start looking inward on your company to try to, via osmosis or just actively getting everybody working in your company to also reflect the habits that you build along the way.
This show is so hot, I must put on sunblock to watch it while editing. It's so good. Brandon, I really appreciate you carving out time for us. I really respect you guys, the work you're putting in. Carter, thanks for leading these guys down the proven path here. I'm super excited to check in with you at our December conference and see where you're at. Perhaps we'll have a new success story here in December to share. Again, thank you so much. And for people that are in the area, one more time, that website, you're in Oklahoma. What's the web address there, sir?
The web address is www.route66hvac.com.
And if you're in Delaware, go ahead and call them. I mean, it's worth the travel fee. You might as well pay for 18 hours of travel each way to have a guy fix your HVAC. It's a tourist destination, folks. It's Route 66 HVAC. Now, folks, I don't want people traveling to Tulsa just to visit the home office of Route 66 HVAC. So if you do that, at least hire them to fix somebody else's AC. All right. Thanks again there, Brandon. I really do appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah, so my name's Kelsey Hershey, and my husband and I own Rockhaven Retrievers. We've been working with you guys for probably 8 or 9 months now, since last May, and it's been a great experience. So when we first started, leads was actually our biggest limiting factor. So we just, we were struggling to get some leads. We had great connections with people, but we were just hoping to grow a little more and a little faster than we were. So that was our biggest limiting factor. We've about doubled our leads, and so that is no longer our biggest limiting factor right now. So that's been great. Some of the things we worked on or fixed was we were already doing some advertising, so we increased our advertising. Our website was kind of a mess. I mean, it was beautiful, but it wasn't being found. So that was our biggest issue. So you guys helped make us more Google compliant. Our coach worked with us. That was amazing. Getting it where people can actually find us. So that has been really important. And then also getting really good, high quality Google reviews where people we're in an industry that very much relies on trust. And so having those referrals and Google reviews has been really important for us. It's had a huge impact. So just the stability and predictability that comes with a business coach, honestly, that was the biggest thing for me. I really appreciate, I know every Friday morning at 5 a.m., we're going to meet with Andrew. We're going to go over our numbers. We're going to talk about our biggest limiting factor. That way we can just kind of chink away at that. And so we can grow systematically. It's not chaotic at all. And so having that and the way it impacts our family has been huge too, just because, yeah, we have, like I said, we're very much family oriented. We have 4 kids. And so it's really important to us that it doesn't become all about the business. And that is something I've really appreciated. Andrew actually cares about our marriage. He cares about our family and our kids, and keeping that all in line with what we have told him is our highest priorities has been really important. And honestly, if that wasn't the case, we probably would not be doing business coaching. So that's a very important part for us. For the 13-point assessment, it's kind of a no-brainer just because there's literally no risk involved. We've also gone to the business conference and come away with a lot of value as well. So honestly, I would say just do it because it is worth it. I love that if someone is hesitant, it is a month-to-month basis. So you can just set aside a certain amount and say, we're going to try it out. And if you're diligent and you're going to be open and do what your business coach asks you to do, then you definitely won't regret it.
Ladies and gentlemen, on today's show, we're going to interview a real person who is a real business owner. So many people ask me, well, Clay, what kind of business owners do you work with? And the reason why we only work with 160 clients, James, is I only want to work with really good people. James, you get it.
I get it.
I don't want to work with people that are not good people. And so today's show, my commercial for her is she's good people. Her name's Kelsey, the name of her company, folks. The name of her company, look it up. She's a real person, not a hologram. It's rockhavenretrievers.com. Kelsey, welcome on to the Thrivetime Show. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Hey, so just so people can verify that you're not a hologram, tell us your first and last name and the name of your company.
Yeah, so my name's Kelsey Hershey, and my husband and I own Rockhaven Retrievers.
And I'm going to pull up the website so people can look at it real quick. And again, if you're out there today and you're looking for a retriever, my understanding, and I'm inferring based upon the name of the website, Rockhaven Retrievers, that you breed retrievers, or tell us about the kinds of products you provide there at rockhavenretrievers.com.
Yeah, so we raise labs, so Labrador Retrievers, purebred AKC, Labrador Retrievers, and Golden Retriever puppies for amazing families.
And so how did you first hear about us here at the Thrivetime Show and the business coaching services that we provide?
Yeah, I think we heard about you probably 5 years ago. So originally, I think we actually was through a podcast, but then we worked with y'all for almost a year on a different business, which we actually got to be able to sell, which was great. And now we've been working with you guys for probably 8 or 9 months now since last May. And it's been a great experience.
So what I want to do, James, you talk to people every day that reach out that would like to be clients. And your job is, you and the team, your job is to sort of filter out who's a good fit and who isn't a good fit for what we do.
That's right.
Okay, so I'm going to go through kind of line by line some questions for Miss Kelsey here. So that way people watching online can figure out if you're a good fit for what we do. So first off, this year versus last year, can you tell us about the leads? Like, what kind of growth have you seen in terms of lead growth from this year versus last year? So from life after business coaching to maybe life before business coaching, what kind of contrast have you seen in lead?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when we first started, leads was actually our biggest limiting factor. So we just, we were struggling to get some leads. We had great connections with people, but we were just hoping to grow a little more and a little faster than we were. So that was our biggest limiting factor. We've about doubled our leads. And so that is no longer our biggest limiting factor right now. So that's been great.
So you've doubled. Now, James, you have questions that people ask you all the time. What follow-up question would you have for Kelsey about lead generation? Because I know people ask you on the phone all the time. They say, can you guys help me generate leads? Do you have any follow-up questions for Kelsey?
Well, a lot of people don't know where to get leads. So where do you get your leads from?
Yeah, so some of the things we worked on or fixed was we were already doing some advertising. So we increased our advertising. Our website was kind of a mess. I mean, it was beautiful, but it wasn't being found. So that was our biggest issue. So you guys helped make us more Google compliant. Our coach worked with us. That was amazing. Getting it where people can actually find us. So that has been really important. And then also getting really good, high quality Google reviews where people can, we're in an industry that very much relies on trust. And so having those referrals and Google reviews has been really important for us.
Okay, so second follow-up question here for you is, when you do advertisements, I meet so many people all the time, and James, you talk to them on the phone. They're spending thousands of dollars advertising their products. So I'm going to pull up a bunch of examples real quick. These are real examples, okay? So rockhavenretrievers.com, that's your business. Okay, here's another business. True story. Client of mine, longtime client of mine, PMH OKC. This is a real business, PMH OKC. They do not sell retrievers. They are a home remodeling business. They build pools, outdoor kitchens, that kind of thing. Another client of mine, Cola Fitness. This is a client that's based in Joplin, Missouri. This is a company that's based in Dallas, Texas. Okay. These companies, also the Purcell Group, Stacy Purcell, the Purcell Group, wonderful lady. These are three examples of clients that I met that were spending over $2,000 a week before I met them advertising on the internet, and they were not generating any leads at all. I want to get your thoughts on this, Kelsey. We are obsessive. We are fastidious about tracking. Can you talk about the importance of having a coach that helps you track where your leads are coming from?
Yeah. So in an ideal world, we would have done all the tracking already. Sometimes it's a matter of having that accountability. And that was actually the biggest thing for us is we knew we were supposed to be doing some of these things, but just knowing that every Friday morning we're going to meet with our coach, we're going to go over our tracking sheet, we're going to know what we're spending every week, we're going to know our leads, making sure that those numbers are lining up has been really important so that, like you said, the advertising doesn't get out of control and we know exactly how much we're spending every week.
Now, in the world we live in, even right now, someone's watching and they're going, I bet you she's being paid to say these things. There's a world we live in where people are, I love it. I actually love it because I do believe only the paranoid survive. But there's a world we live in, James, where a lot of people, there's shamockery, there's jackassery, there's scams. You see it, get rich quick, get rich in 17 minutes, the whole thing. Our service happens to be month to month. And so when you sold your company, you called us with great enthusiasm and you said, guys, congratulations, we're selling our business. And we were so excited for you guys. And we helped you guys to grow your company and you sold it. And there wasn't a contract where I said, this just in, Kelsey, you're locked into a contract. Or I didn't say, uh-oh, you owe us a lot of money to get out of the contract. We've all been in a contract for a gym or a timeshare or a phone plan or something. Can you talk about the peace of mind it gives you knowing that you're paying $1,700 a month, $1,700 per month, $1,700 a month, and knowing it's month to month, even though our average client is with us for 6 years or longer? Tell us about the peace of mind of knowing that it is month to month.
Yeah, I would say there's definitely peace of mind there. Honestly, the trust we've built at this point, I have no concerns at all, just because we have a very, very good relationship with Andrew, our business coach. And honestly, I was more concerned that we'd be able to get Andrew again after we sold our business, just because he's amazing and has done so well. I was more concerned that you guys would keep us as customers and with our next business. So that was not an issue at all.
Okay, now for your business, go back to your business. We've got to gather video reviews. So I'm trying to celebrate my clients today while giving a lot of examples. So if you go to thrivetimeshow.com, that's obviously a business that I'm involved in. If you go to eitrlounge.com, that's obviously a business I'm involved in. If you go to Dr. Zellner and Associates, that's obviously a business that Dr. Zellner and I are involved in. So when you look at these different businesses, we are teaching that which we do. Like we're teaching you to do things that we do in our own companies. And so when you go to thrivetimeshow.com, the idea of having a business conference is not a new idea for me. And I know this sounds shocking, but I've been doing business conferences for 20 years. This is my 20th year doing the same thing. So we have thousands and thousands of testimonials from real clients. So people say, Clay Clark, I've never heard of you before, but I know Robert Kiyosaki's speaking at your conference, or I know Eric Trump's coming, or I know that you're bringing in Tim Tebow or whatever. But ultimately, James, people, they often want to know, how long have you been doing this? Where are you located? We talked to a lady the other day. She said, does Tulsa have hotels? Remember this lady, wonderful lady?
Yeah.
I mean, so there's people that have lots of questions about, does Tulsa have hotels? What kind of questions do people ask you about our conferences, James?
Well, they want to know. A lot of people want to know what exactly are you going to talk about. So they don't know that you're going to talk about marketing, systems and scaling, human resources, accounting, social media marketing, branding, search engine optimization.
Right.
That's a big one. Sales training, just all these things.
But
that
people ask
do.
you this every time.
Right, they do.
And so we have testimonials. And so I want to get your thoughts on this, Kelsey. How has gathering video testimonials for your business impacted you? Because I hear so much from people, they say the video testimonials were important for them. How has gathering objective video reviews from real customers impacted your business?
Oh, it's been so important. So for us, like I said, our business is very much built on trust. So having people that trust us to raise their puppy, to know that it's being cared for well and is getting everything that we say. We are in an industry that unfortunately has a pretty bad reputation in some areas. And there's scams out there. There's things out there, unfortunately. And so we need people to be able to trust us, to trust that we are doing the right thing and really caring for our puppies. So having those video reviews on our website and also able to just send them to people when they ask, being able to say, hey, this is a real person who's gotten a puppy from us, that has been very important for our growth.
Now, next area, and this is something important. I don't know, James. James, you like to make steak, right?
I do.
Okay, so let's talk about making steak for a second. I'm getting into your wheelhouse. When you're making steak, is it the quality of meat? Does the quality of meat matter?
It does. And I always try to go to the part of the store that has the glass with the person behind it and get the prime cut.
So the quality of the cut matters.
It does.
Does it matter that what do you cook your steak in?
In a cast iron pan.
On part 2 of today's show, by the way, we're going to put on the video of how you cook steak. Okay. So part 2, you use what kind of pan do you use?
Cast iron.
Then what do you put on the steak?
I do butter and oil, like extra virgin olive oil, and then just salt and pepper.
Yeah.
And then, sometimes a little garlic and rosemary on it too.
And then does cooking the steak, how you cook the steak matter?
It does. I always cook that thing on high heat, and the alarm will go off 4 out of 5 times.
Now, this is so important, though. This is so important because people say, Clay, I want to grow my business. What's the most important part? And James, people ask you all the time. They say, so are you guys an accounting firm? Are you guys a marketing firm? Are you guys a sales coaching thing? And it's all of it. So when you come to our workshops or you're a client, we go through all 14 aspects of your company. And so I'm really going to tap into Kelsey's brain on this because her and her family, her team, they really are attentive and diligent about all of these areas and really trying to do the best they can to provide the best service possible. So first off, we have to figure out your revenue goals. I'm not going to ask you to share your goals on today's show, but you have to know how many dogs you have to sell to break even. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to know your break even point, box number 2. And again, anybody who wants to download this book for free, you go to thrivetimeshow.com/free-resources, and you can follow along. You can download my book, A Millionaire's Guide, How to Become Sustainably Rich, thrivetimeshow.com/free-resources. And again, we're talking here from page 5 of this book. Kelsey, how has that impacted you knowing your break-even point?
That's been really important. I mean, we wouldn't be able to, this is a passion of ours. We really love it, but we can't keep doing it if we aren't making a profit and feeding our family. So we have 4 boys. We need to be able to feed them, to care for them. And so knowing our break even it's a non-negotiable. We would not be doing what we're doing for this long if we didn't know our numbers.
So you got to know the numbers. And again, somebody out there says, Clay, I'm not an accountant. We'll help you with that. Don't worry about it, folks. You got to know your numbers, okay? Now, box 3 is you got to know how many hours per week you're willing to work. Now, this is a very controversial subject. I will share my thoughts on this. Someone out there can disagree. I believe that everybody watching today's show, you should pray about it, ask God, I mean it sincerely, and then talk to your spouse and figure out the boundaries with which we are going to work. So for my wife and I like to work 6 days, rest on the 7th. That's the mindset that I have. That's my ideal scenario. Some people say, you work 6 days a week? James, new employees are always shocked that I'm here 6 days a week.
They are.
I mean, do you hear that all out there? I can see you here 6 days a week. But it's every week I do it.
Every single week.
Yeah, and you work 6 days, 7 days a week. You do it too, right?
Right.
But there's some people that want to work 4 days a week or 5 days a week. Kelsey, why is it important for you and your husband with the 4 kids you have to know how many hours per week that you're willing to work?
I think it's important just because we have priorities, and so if we know what our priorities are, and then we can assign timeframes to them, it really helps just our family operate better and us feel like we're actually achieving what we say is our priorities. So for us, yeah, we do the same thing. We work 6 days a week. And I think honestly, y'all have helped us a lot with just feeling comfortable that that is okay, because there is a lot of shame and stuff around that. But yeah, priority wise, we do assign timeframes to things just so that we can accomplish the things that are important to us.
I'm not saying this to name drop. I'm saying this because it's true. You know, tonight my wife and I are taking out one of the most successful TV hosts in America, and it's on a Saturday night. And to us, that's work, but we like it. You know, I'm not saying this to name drop. I'm just saying this. When we have Robert Kiyosaki that will come in, or Eric Trump, we will be working that week, probably 7 days that week. I don't want to do that though. So because we will go to church, but then it's like when we get James, when my wife and I just got back, we had to go to Florida for a business trip recently. I got back and I had a lot of work I had to get caught up on. So my schedule got out of whack, but it's so important that you're out there and you have an ideal schedule that you feel good about. And for my wife and I, it's 6 days a week. Someone out there watching, it might be 4 days a week, but it's really important. The next area you have to focus on if you want to scale a company, we'll help you through all of this, folks, is you got to figure out, box number 4, what makes you unique? So this just in, there are other dog breeders in America. What? There are other dog breeders in America. This just in. So we've had to work with you. You've worked with us to just figure out what makes you unique and then tell the world about it. Can you talk about why it's important there, Kelsey, for your business to know your unique value proposition?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for us, we definitely lean into this really hard because, like you said, there's so many others. There's a lot of unethical ones. And so we really want to differentiate ourselves. So being able to share that we do health testing with our parents, we provide a really good health guarantee, 2-year health guarantee with all of our puppies. That sort of thing allows us to show how we are different, because there is a small group of people are looking for what we provide. And if they don't know how we are different, they won't be able to find us. So that's why we make that very clear on our website and talking to people how we differentiate ourselves.
Now, box number, this is so big, folks. We're going through each one. There's 14 steps of business growth. There's 14 steps, and I want to hit on these because it's so important that you check all these boxes. Box number 5, your branding. This just in. People do judge a book based on the cover. They do judge a product based on the website. They do. Now, James, your desk is oftentimes 4 feet from mine.
Yes.
And sometimes it's 15 feet away from mine.
Right.
Does it ever blow your mind that people come in to the office, figuratively speaking, or literally, sometimes with an unsuccessful business, and they end up building a multi-million-dollar business almost every time?
Yeah, it's really insane because I've been here for 2 years and I worked in the part of the business that wasn't really part of the business, doing other stuff.
Yeah.
And so I've got to see contractors, home builders, roofers, dog groomers, just so many different industries. Doctors, lawyers, accountants come in, and then they have a business that's struggling, and then you help them get more leads, and then you help them with the sales scripts, and then you help them with hiring and inspiring. And then there's just so many things that you do that help scale their business, which is what everyone wants to do, is scale their business and have more time freedom and have more financial freedom. And I see it. And it's like every week it's a new person that reaches that goal. I believe it.
You see it every day. So I want to ask your thoughts on this, Kelsey. Why is it important that your branding is top notch?
I mean, it reflects what's inside and what's happening here. So if we do an amazing job, but we can't portray that to everybody else, it's going to get lost in translation. So it's really important that what we're doing here matches what other people are seeing.
This is, folks, I hope you're learning something, folks. This is such a powerful interview here because these folks, I'm telling you, at Rock Haven Retrievers, they're high quality. I'm totally against cloning technology. But if I were to clone people, I would want to clone these people. Okay, so box number 6, marketing. You have to have a 3-legged marketing stool. By the way, branding consists of your website, your business cards, your print pieces, your logos, and we do all of that included for the $1,700 a month. So everything, we do all of that for you. That's all included. Let's talk about marketing for a second. Kelsey, why do you have to have a three-legged marketing stool, like 3 viable ways that you generate leads? So in your case, you're getting Google reviews and video reviews. That's powerful. Boom. 2, search engine optimization. 3, boom. Or 2, search engine optimization. And then 3, online ads. So it's not just one way you're marketing. It's not just Google reviews and video reviews. 2, it's not just search engine optimization. 3, it's not just online ads. Why do you have to have 3 ways that you market to your ideal and likely buyers?
Well, mainly because if something would happen to one of them, we need to be able to pivot. So if we're all in on just one area, say we just do advertising, well, if that advertising gets shut down, that immediately stops all of our deal flows, all of our growth, everything is done. So we need to have, I don't want to say diversified because that almost makes it sound like we can be distracted, but if we can focus on 3 different things and do them very well, it has worked really well for us.
Folks, I'm telling you, this is powerful stuff. Somebody out there, A, you need a dog, so you're probably going to Rock Haven Retrievers right now. But B, if you're trying to grow a company, take notes. These are real people doing real things. Box number 7, you have to create a sales conversion system. Has to be a documented process. If you're building a boat, I'm hoping that you're using a blueprint. If you're building a car, I'm hoping that you're building a car using a blueprint. If you're building a house, I hope you're using a blueprint. If you're building anything of consequence at scale, I would hope you're using a blueprint. I don't know why in business people don't want to use blueprints. I don't quite have it figured out yet. I don't know why people insist on operating via verbal traditions and tribal knowledge and, well, Carl knows the passwords. I don't understand that, but in order to scale something, you have to create a documented system. And so for sales, you have to have call scripts, call recording, a one sheet that clearly documents how you provide solutions for the workforce, to the marketplace. You have to have pre-written emails that make sense, a lead tracking system that makes sense. Kelsey, talk about the sales conversion system. Why do you have to have all these systems in place?
We need them in place because we're people who make mistakes. So for me, I can be going about and doing things, boom, 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 and I can totally forget something. And ask my husband, he knows this, but if I have a checklist and I know what I'm doing, that is much less likely to happen. So I really rely on having systems in place because with raising puppies, they are living and breathing. Like we can't mess up on this. So we really need those systems in place to make sure every single thing is getting done.
Folks, I'm telling you, whether you're feeding dogs, you're a dentist, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, we have a wonderful, and again, James, on part 2 of today's show, you're going to be able to teach the world how you make a steak. And I'm being real. Too Cool Keith, a wonderful guy in Visalia, California. He makes the best steaks in the world.
He does.
And big shout out to him, by the way. His company's called Crawdaddies. This guy makes the best steaks in the world. I'm being real. It's worth the vacation here. This is Visalia, California. If you're like going, man, I don't know what I'm going to take my kids to this year, go to Visalia, California. Find a way to get there. Head on over there to Crawdaddies. It's worth the trip. Once you get there, you can see all the wonderful things that Northern California has to offer. But the highlight of your trip will be going to Too Cool Keith's. The business is called Crawdaddies. It's incredible. I love this place. Best steak in the world. Steak number 2 coming in hot. That was a place called Bluestone. They're not around anymore. The owner decided to shut down. So moving into the second position is you, James.
That's right, baby.
Now third is Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. So it's kind of a tight competition. My wife's moving into third or fourth position right now. So you're making some great steaks. Okay. So I want everyone to know you have to have a system in place. Okay. It's a system. Box number 8. You've got to know you have to determine your sustainable customer acquisition costs. At the end of the day, how much does it cost you to get a new customer? So Kelsey, whatever you charge for the dogs that you guys sell, you have to know how much it costs you to get a new customer. Talk about the importance of knowing that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right on our tracking sheet. So we need to know the cost of when leads come in, what each of those costs are that we're accounting for, just because costs can get out of hand very quickly. And so if we're tracking them every week, we know exactly where we're at.
Now, again, folks, I'm hoping you're taking notes. I'm hoping you're getting this. This is powerful stuff. And someone says, well, this isn't exciting at all. This seems like a very tedious step-by-step process. Yeah, exactly. Do you want your life to be exciting? Don't use systems. You're going to have an exciting life. Will you be able to pay the bills? Are you on the verge of bankruptcy? I mean, that's exciting stuff. But if you want to have a proven path to create sustainable success, you've got to implement these systems. Step number 9, create repeatable systems, processes, and file organization. This just in. You can't build a successful organization if you are not organized. Kelsey, preach the good news about being organized.
Well, it's not necessarily my strong suit. It's my husband. So that is why we need these systems in place. So my husband is very much naturally detail oriented. I tend to be a little bit more on the I love to talk to people and do things and play with puppies, but I'm not necessarily system oriented. So when we have these things in place, it helps our marriage, that's for sure, but it also helps our business and helps us make sure that we're doing everything that we say is really important to us and that we're getting things done in a timely manner.
Final 3 steps, folks, coming in hot. Box number 11 or box number 10. You've got to create a management system. You have to have an effective management system. What am I saying? Management is, what are the people on your team expected to do? And do they do it? How do you convince humans on the planet Earth to do their jobs with excellence? I see a lot of people have great systems, great processes, great visions, but nobody is getting anything done because nobody's being managed. Can you talk about that? Because your business, you've doubled the number of leads you're getting. Can you talk about the importance of learning these management systems or even these hiring processes?
Yeah, so we're still very much a family operated business. We're really still a small business. But it's not just me. My husband works here. We're full-time together. So knowing that we're on the same page, we do have meetings in the morning, just making sure we're on track, that we're focused on the same things and we know what's going on. I would say is key for us, having quick meetings in the morning, making sure that we're both know what's happening for the day and going through our calendar once a week. We will do that as well, just to make sure our week is planned out. And so it's not chaos during the week.
Okay, box number 12 here, folks, coming in hot. We're almost there, almost there. Stay on target, almost there. Box number 12, or box number 11, you have to create a sustainable and repetitive weekly schedule. Like, when is your daily huddle? When is your weekly group interview? When will you call the leads? When will you go home? When will you show up to work? What is your schedule? Can you talk about that, Kelsey, about the importance of having a documented schedule that you, your husband, and your team adheres to?
Yeah, we keep a pretty good schedule just because we need to know what's going on. So we can't be losing kids during the week. We got to know who's getting the kids. We need to know puppies. We need to know who's coming and visiting, who's coming to take a puppy home, that sort of thing. So if we don't know that, it's going to be pretty chaotic during the week. So that's why we do a weekly meeting and we do plan out pretty tightly our schedule.
Now, James, we move on to the final couple boxes here. So we got box number 13 or box number 12. You have to create human resources and recruitment systems. There's got to be a process. Now, Kelsey, I'm sure you can see the writing on the wall. You're going, wow, we're getting more leads. We're doing more transactions. And at a certain point, hiring people will become your biggest limiting factor. At some point, hiring people will become your biggest limiting factor. Can you talk about the importance of having a plan in place for onboarding new employees?
Yeah, this is actually something that is very top of mind right now that we've been talking with our business coach about, because this is our next step. So we have been talking about different ways of finding leads, whether that's, finding our first employees, because as we grow, like you said, it is going to become our biggest limiting factor. So we are actually, this is very top of mind current for us, because we are starting to go down this path with our business coach.
Okay, now box number 13 and 14, folks, you've got to make sure that your business, that you automate the earning of your millions. What am I saying? You have to have an accounting process in place where you track every dollar, because it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. And so if any of these aspects are neglected, your business will not succeed. And that's why I believe everybody out there, if you have a sound mind, you should probably have an attorney you work with who knows what he's talking about to guide you through the legal aspects of your company. You should probably have an accountant you can trust to guide you through the accounting aspects of your company. You should probably have a dentist that you go to that's not a guy you know who's watched a couple YouTube videos on teeth brushing. I mean, you probably want to have an expert in your life to help you in these various areas. And the whole purpose of that is so you can achieve what we call the F7 success, where you have success with your faith, your family, your finances, your fitness, your friendship, your fun. So, Kelsey, as you're going down this path, so many people are taking notes right now. If you could share with everybody kind of maybe a 60-second recap of what impact having a business coach has had on your life and your businesses, we'd love to hear. We'd love to hear from you.
Oh man, it's had a huge impact. So just the stability and predictability that comes with a business coach, honestly, that was the biggest thing for me. I really appreciate, I know every Friday morning at 5 a.m., we're going to meet with Andrew. We're going to go over our numbers. We're going to talk about our biggest limiting factor. That way we can just kind of chink away at that. And so we can grow systematically. It's not chaotic at all. And so having that and the way it impacts our family has been huge too, just because yeah, we have, like I said, we're very much family oriented. We have 4 kids. And so it's really important to us that it doesn't become all about the business. And that is something I've really appreciated. Andrew actually cares about our marriage. He cares about our family and our kids, and keeping that all in line with what we have told him is our highest priorities has been really important. And honestly, if that wasn't the case, we probably would not be doing business coaching. So that's a very important part for us.
And so what do you say to somebody who's on the fence? They're thinking about coming to our workshop. They're thinking about going to Thrivetime show and scheduling a free 13-point assessment. They're thinking about coming to a business conference. They know it's $1,700 a month. They know for the business conferences that we have scholarship pricing available to help families in need. So you can name your price. They know that we do scholarships for clients from time to time. But what would you say to somebody who's on the fence and thinking about either attending a conference or scheduling a free 13-point assessment?
Well, for the 13-point assessment, it's kind of a no-brainer just because there's literally no risk involved. We've also gone to the business conference and come away with a lot of value as well. So honestly, I would say just do it because it is worth it. I love that if someone is hesitant, it is a month-to-month basis. So you can just set aside a certain amount and say, we're going to try it out. And if you're diligent and you're going to be open and do what your business coach asks you to do, then you definitely won't regret it.
James, I'll give you the final question here. You talk to wonderful people every day that are maybe the potential Kelseys of America, or some people you say, whoa, we can't help you. And I don't want anybody to waste their time filling out the form if you have an esoteric belief system and not an actual business you're trying to grow. So, James, what final question would you have for Kelsey?
If you could do it all over again, would you hire us?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, very thankful for you guys. It's been a huge blessing. We love it. Honestly, Fridays when we meet, it's the highlight of our day. It's our most productive day for sure. So absolutely.
Kelsey, thank you so much for carving out time for us today. I encourage everybody out there, if you don't hate yourself and you do love retrievers, if you do love retrievers and you don't hate yourself and you're looking to get a retriever, go to rockhavenretrievers.com, rockhavenretrievers.com. That's the website, rockhavenretrievers.com. And on part 2 of today's show, James will teach us how to make one of his epic steaks. Thank you so much, Kelsey. Have a great day.
Thanks. You too, guys.
Bye-bye.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
Hi, my name is Tim Johnson. I'm the owner of Tuscaloosa Ophthalmology, as well as Southern Eye Consultants. 2 ophthalmology practices in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I'm a client of Clay Clark. He asked me to answer a couple questions. The first question was, how did I hear about Clay Clark? I am a big fan of business podcasts, and his podcast popped up as a recommended listening, so I started listening to the podcast. I was a little suspicious or skeptical because I thought there was going to be like an upcharge or an upsell, but the idea of the month-to-month canceling really appealed to me, and I kept waiting for the shoe to drop and for the upsell or for the scam to come in, but it never did. It's very legitimate. Since working with Clay, I've gotten a much firmer grasp on how business works. Even in medicine, business is business. I've learned a lot about marketing, especially how Google reviews work and how important that is. And that's very important even in medicine. At least once a week, if not every day, I get a new patient because somebody Googled eye doctor in Tuscaloosa or ophthalmologist in Tuscaloosa. And you'd be amazed how many patients just look for an eye doctor that way. And so he's really changed our business. Our business has grown a lot, maybe 15 to 20% this year. And so we're really grateful for the things he's done for our business. And the last question was, when did I perfect the laugh? I would say that you can never perfect the laugh. You just keep working at it, and just keeps getting better and better each day. But you got to keep working at it.
Clay, my honor to be on your show, and thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you. So congratulations.
Sean, guess what's happening on June 5th and 6th right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem?
We are probably going to have an amazing business conference here at Tulsa, Jerusalem.
Yes, we're joined by Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow is going to be joining us right here at the Thrivetime Show World Headquarters, June 5th and 6th. He's a very successful football player, obviously a Heisman Award winner, but he's also a very successful entrepreneur. Now, when you work with real clients, Sean, real clients you really work with to help them grow their companies, do you ever hear a business owner tell you that they didn't have time to get something done?
Every day.
How often is not having enough time a problem for business owners?
All the time. It's like maybe 90% of the issues as people are trying to grow their company.
Well, Tim Tebow is going to come join us here at the in-person Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop, and he's going to teach us time management and his approach to personal self-discipline and getting things done. Also at the workshop, I'll put up on the website so people can see it here. Also at the 2-day interactive workshop, Sean, we are going to be, there it is. We're going to be teaching accounting, systems creation, marketing, human resources, how to hire, inspire, train, and retain great people, accounting, social media advertising, search engine optimization. Sean, what's the area where most clients ask you for help the most? Is it generating leads? Is it hiring people? What's the biggest issue that most business owners have by default before they come to one of our workshops?
Well, I think it's management, because time is the most valuable resource for these business owners, and being able to manage their time is the first thing. Once they get that under control, then generally the numbers, being able to track their business and be able to make the best decisions based on numbers rather than emotions is a big area. And we teach all of this stuff at the business conference, particularly you, Clay. You love to hammer on time management. It's my favorite part of the conference.
Now, I'm going to pull this up real quick here because we're going to go through. If you're not excited, I want to get you excited about what we're going to cover at the workshop here. Okay.
All right.
The 2-day interactive workshop. This is my 20th year hosting workshops. So I'm telling you, folks, we're in rare form here. So one is the idea of establishing your revenue goals. I think most entrepreneurs don't know their revenue goals. Would you agree, or am I off my rocker?
No, that's totally a very important point we do with every one of our new clients that come on board, is we have to establish the revenue goals. And generally speaking, we have a vague idea, but not an exact idea that can be engineered down into like the daily goals for sales. And so that's a really big one.
Now, next is the break break-even numbers. What kind of sales do you have to do to even break even?
Yeah.
Third is, how many hours per week do you want to work? What is your ideal schedule as an entrepreneur? Box number 4, how do you stand out in the clutter of commerce? What makes your company unique from all the different businesses? In a world of brown cows, herds of brown cows, proverbial brown cows, the analogy of brown cows, how can you be the purple cow that stands out? How can you be the squeaky wheel that gets the oil? Box number 5, branding. How do you improve the perception that people have of you, your business, your brand? Box number 6, marketing, your three-legged marketing stool. What is a turnkey way for you and your company to generate leads so you can succeed? Because if you don't have any leads, your business will bleed. If you can't sell, your business will go to hell. You've got to generate leads. Sean, how often do business owners by default tell you they have a hard time generating leads?
It's almost all of the time. It's really a huge struggle. And many times they may be creating leads, but just through word of mouth. So they get to a point where we've implemented systems and then they need to create more leads, but they've never had to do it. So there's a lot of different scenarios where business owners are like, how do you create leads? Something we hammer on at the conference a lot.
Box number 7, create a sales conversion system. Again, box number 7, create a sales conversion system. Sales scripts, recorded calls, one sheets, pre-written emails, lead trackers, all of the sales tools, the sales print pieces, the one sheets, the big screens that you see inside the business. Whether you're a doctor, you're a dentist, you're a lawyer, you got to have sales systems in place. We help you with that. Box number 8, what does it cost you to get another customer? Step number 8, what does it cost you to actually acquire a customer? Step number 9, it's hard to build an organization if you're not organized. We're going to teach you how to create repeatable systems, processes, file organization. Box number 10, we're going to teach you how to manage people, real people on the planet Earth. This just in, we're going to teach you how to manage real people on the planet Earth. Box number 11, how to create a sustainable schedule that works for you and your family. Step number 12, how to create human resources systems for recruiting, hiring, training, and retaining great people. Box number 13, accounting. This just in, we have to cover accounting. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. We're going to cover all the accounting things you need to know. And step 14, finally, what is the point of even achieving success? We're going to go over what is the point of even achieving success, how to design a life that you're excited about, how to design a life where you carve out enough time for your faith, your family, your finance, your fitness, your friendship, your fun, and where you're going to spend your focused time. We're going to go through that, all this and more. Now, the workshop, Sean, it's June 5th and 6th. Yep. It's a 2-day interactive workshop.
Yes.
And tickets, we always do it. It's $250 or whatever price that someone can afford. Sean, why do we let people name their price? Why do we have scholarship tickets available if somebody can't afford the $250 general admission ticket?
Well, we don't want anybody to miss out on it. You could be at a startup phase or you could be, way along in your business, but we want to make it accessible for everybody. I think it actually goes back to a story of your dad. And it goes all the way back to how you've always done this as a business coach, trying to make sure that, your average people out there have access to the things that work.
Now, 7 a.m. to 5, Sean, why do we go from 7 to 5 both days? I mean, it's 10 hours a day. 20 hours of training over 2 days. Why do we do 10 hours a day, Sean, of back-to-back workshops? We do a 30-minute teaching session. We do a 15-minute question and answer session, and then we take a break. 30 minutes of teaching, 15 minutes of question and answer, then we take a break. Why do we do that format, Sean?
That format is so that we can keep people engaged and not just sitting there listening, but also getting involved. We really encourage people to ask questions, and that's really where the juiciness of the conference comes out, is you can put your personal situation and your questions on the board, and Clay will tee off and give you direct advice. Even without being in our coaching program, you can get direct coaching from Clay. It's really a very engaging format. I enjoy it a lot.
Sean, final 60 seconds, pop quiz here. What date is the conference?
June 5th and 6th, 2025, this year.
Question number 2, who's our keynote speaker coming to the conference there, Sean?
Tim Tebow is our keynote speaker.
Sean, question number 3, how much does it cost to come to our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
I think it's, did you say it's $250 or whatever you can afford?
That's right, $250 or whatever you can afford. Sean, how do you spell Eric Trump backwards?
P-M-U-R-T-C-I-R-E. Ooh, that took a long time.
I'll have to listen to this. And right. All right, again, that's Sean Lohman. I'm Clay Clark, inviting you to come join us at the in-person Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive workshop, June 5th and 6th, right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Sean, I'm excited to have this event. I'm excited to see you at the event. June
Yes.
5th and 6th, right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tim Tebow, baby. It's Tebow time in Tulsa, Jerusalem.
You could be anywhere doing a lot of different things, but you chose to be here.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Hey guys, Luke Erickson here with the Thrivetime Show. As you can see behind me, we've got all kinds of energy going on. People are starting to show up for the conference, and it is hot in this place. We got grill guns over here. We've got people playing the drums. We've got a fire breather, and man, people are so excited as they come in.
The conference is kicked off. This house is packed. We've got Aaron Hansis with Sean Holmes up there. We've got Steve Currington with Total Lindy Concepts up there talking about what is possible when you just implement, when you do the proven system. It's so exciting. People are going crazy.
Guys, Luke Erickson with the Thrivetime Show here with you. It is day 2, and the energy is high. People are so excited to be showing up. The team is ready. Come on, let's see what it's like to go on in for day 2. Follow me. I'll tell you what, people are so excited to be here for day 2. It is going to be incredible. Cannot wait to see what today has in store.
Right now, here at the conference, we've broken into groups going over search engine optimization. And I know for most of us, myself included, if you hear that term, you go, what is that? What does that mean? That's too techie for me. Well, our experts are breaking it down for people so that you can clearly understand how to come up top in Google. It's doable. It's possible.
Now we're in the middle of a break, and what we like to do is we like to give you as much tangible and relevant information from about the start of the hour for 45 minutes. Then we take approximately a 15-minute break to allow people to connect with other entrepreneurs around them, bathroom breaks, and also use this time to just really digest all of the good information that you're receiving the whole time. Right behind me, we've got Bob with his grill gun, melting an ice sculpture. It is awesome. The ice sculpture represents our life, right? It's here for a time, but we all need to have the sense of urgency to implement the things that we're learning so that we can make the most of the time that we have.
I heard about it on the podcast. Started listening to the podcast, became a fan, and then figured out about the workshop. I own an insurance and financial services agency, and I was hoping to learn from the workshop systems and processes. I'm big on systems and processes and always learning better ways to run a business more efficiently. The atmosphere's second to none. It's a high energy, really cool atmosphere to be around. Contagious, I would say. Just something every entrepreneur, I think, would appreciate and love. I'd say humorous, high energy, and full of substance, which I think is the key. A lot of business coaches or seminars maybe are high on motivation and making you feel good, but don't have a lot of substance that you can take back and implement, the following Monday, where his does. Man, there's a lot of valuable things. I'm gonna say, this is my second workshop. The first workshop I took back really the importance of a group interview. I used to spend hours and hours interviewing people, screening resumes, and that saving my time on that part is valuable. It was that and then the sales scripting that have been 2 major things just so far. Man, I think they're missing out on, expert advice from somebody who's been there, done that, built companies, has learned a lot of lessons. That's what I'm always looking for, is somebody that I can learn from that's ahead of where I am. And I think if you choose not to come, you're missing out on a lot of good advice that could help your business.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And I mean, we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us. And it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builder shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing. And Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because the results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you, if you're thinking about working with Clay, I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with Clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads. Going from 10 a month to 180 a month, that would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it, because we sure haven't.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people, I love working with people, I love building relationships, but one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things. The processes and the advertising and marketing. I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due. And Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
Clay, my honor to be on your show, and thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you, so congratulations.
And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. Hi, I'm Kelsey with K&D's Woodruff Finishing. I'm business owner at 23. So I've been working this K&D's company for about 5 years now, and we started working with Thrive not too long ago. And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. That's what we're going to hit or exceed. So we're pretty excited about that. It's been pretty much just listening to what they have to say. Their hiring process has just really been incredible as far as finding good quality help, and the just the accountability of meeting up with them weekly, and like such good insight, the resources that they have for specific business questions. It's all been really incredible. It's been a great experience, so I would recommend it to anybody.
What I've seen from Clay and his group at Thrive is they'll give you a simple system, and it's the simple systems are the ones that people can wrap their brain around. They're the ones that people can work with on a day-to-day basis.
Hi there, my name is Stephanie Pipkin. I am 24 years old and I own Black River Falls Cleaning Services. We opened in April of 2019 and it is now mid-June of 2020. So I wanted to talk today about the success and growth I have achieved by implementing the Proven Path with Clay Clark's team and my business coach Luke from Thrivetime. It has been insane to say the least. I started working with them in mid-February of this year, so we're about 4 months in of working together, and it has completely transformed my business in pretty much every facet. So I'm gonna check my notes here. So in 4 months, my leads have tripled. I was getting probably like 2 leads a week. Now I'm getting more in the like 10 to 15 leads a week. I have doubled my number of employees. I'm now hitting the highest revenue weeks in the history of the company, week to week it seems like. We went from about 6 appointments today as our highest in February to now 14 to 15 appointments a day. And hiring quality employees has become much simpler and less stressful by using their systems for hiring. I typically only get maybe 2 complaints a month, if that, and everybody shows up to work. I just have really high quality employees now, especially in something people typically consider a high turnover type of work, you know, cleaning houses, cleaning businesses. I have amazing employees now, and I get rid of the ones who are not so amazing and bring on new ones because of, you know, group interviews and interviewing every single week. It's just been great, and such I don't waste as much time on low quality candidates anymore. And your coach will hold you accountable. I mean, which I love. Again, the tough love is really great. You know, Luke's like a stern father figure, but he's also nice, but also stern when he needs to be when I'm being lazy and not doing the things that I know I need to do because I don't want to do them. So that's just great. Worth every penny. I mean, I'd pay him $1 million a month if I can, and maybe someday I'll be able to, but I would just say go for it. If it seems like a good fit, just go for it. Do what they say, even if you think it's stupid or ridiculous, just do what they say because it'll work. You know, people, when they look at my business, you know, people in my town, they think I'm lucky. They think I'm just, you know, things just happen for me. And, you know, maybe I am lucky, but it has a lot to do with hard work and, you know, perseverance and, you know, working till you cry sometimes. That's just being an entrepreneur, which if you're a business owner, you understand that. But it's having these systems in place of, you know, of course I'm going to be successful. It's an absolute because I have all this stuff in the background happening, and I have Luke and Clay and everybody on their team working really hard to make sure that I'm a success. And I can tell that they are just so excited every single week when I'm having all these wins and things like that. They're so excited for me. So it's the best thing ever, and I would suggest to anybody to work with them. So sorry for the long-winded reply, but I just had so much to say, and I could go on for hours probably about how amazing they are. But thank you to Clay and Luke and the entire team there, everything you guys have done for me, and I am so excited to continue to work with you for years to come. Thanks so much for watching.
My saying is, if it's important to you, hire a coach. And I think that's one of the reasons people are not successful is they eat a cheeseburger instead of hiring a coach, you know what I mean? And so my coach pushes me. They're younger than me. They push harder. They're trained. And as my rich dad always said, you know, amateurs don't have a coach, but professionals always have coaches. So I've always had coaches for whatever is important. And, you know, my rich dad was one of those persons. You're on it, man. You're on it. You're on it. Everybody listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. You have the macro picture. Very few people have that point of view. Clay, you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. And as they say in Stoic, the obstacle is the way. And so if you let these pinheads get in your way, you're in trouble.